Traders, how are you? Tom Willard, Tom Willard Trading. Doing a quick market update and giving you some great ideas here to trade next week. Hope you guys have a good Easter weekend. It is Friday, April 14th. So let's cut to the chase here. I'll pull up this S&P 500 ETF, the SPYs. You'll see here daily chart up here on the left, weekly to the right. Bottom left is the 60-minute or hourly chart, and on the right is the bottom right is the 15-minute chart. You'll see obviously a nice uptrend on the weekly, uptrend on the daily. Now we've broken the moving averages here have rolled over almost one another here. You can see the shorter time frame one is kind of getting to a point where it's just crossing this moving average right here. So what's happened here? Well, we've pulled back. We came back, tried to pop, came back, made a lower low, tried to pop, made a lower high, and now we're retesting this low. So your support area here is right around 232. We'll see how it does when the market opens next week. And of course, on the weekly chart, you can see your next support area below that is 225. My thought is that I think we're going to take this pivot out here. I think we're going to go. We possibly retest the 225. Obviously, if things start looking good, that's probably a good buy point here. This previous resistance area or base will become support as this pulls down, most likely, unless we get some sort of cataclysmic news event, which it seems like could happen at any moment with all this stuff going on. So just be aware, have your stops. Again, as I mentioned back in here, still playing to the long side. Don't fight the trend, but have stops. Don't be an idiot either and just stay in and say, no, it's going to keep going up, because eventually it's going to fall apart. And my thought is when it falls apart, it's going to fall apart hard, fast, and quick. It'll be violent. It'll pop back up and down. So you better have your stops in, take them. Some of my long positions that I've had good runs, I've gotten stopped out in on trail stops. One of the ones I took was the USO off the low right here in the 1020 area. Had a really nice run back up here to resistance, so I took off pretty much half my position here, even though really it hasn't trailed on the daily chart. But as it started to top out here, I took off half my position here at 1120 and looking to move, see if it can get up to the 12 area, see how it behaves, possibly add to the position if it breaks out, or sell it off, look for it to pull back down to the 10 if it trades in a range, which it very well may. Okay. A quick peek at the Qs before we go into the discussion around some specific stocks. Qs here also, you can see it's showing more strength on the daily chart. Again, look at the daily chart here on the Qs. Let me type in the SPY. Notice how the SPY is making lower highs and a lower low. Not necessarily another lower low yet, but on the Qs, the NASDAQ tracking ETF, we didn't make a lower low, and it's testing it, but made a higher high here too. So definitely showing some relative strength in the tech names, but we're looking a little frothy here. I think we're going to come down. That's why I think that SPY is going to break that 225 point, because I think this is going to be broken, pull back. And I think here, obviously, your next support area is actually way down here at 120. Okay, but on the daily chart, you've got a little blip of stuff here at 126. It might catch a bid right in there, and that'll be where the rising 20 moving average here, simple, hits. So that might be where I might look to buy this thing again. Okay, at this point, taking profits, put your stop in. And again, continue to hold it though. If your stop doesn't get hit, stay on, ride it out, okay, to your plan. All right. Okay, let's talk about some specific stocks for those of you guys that are equities traders. I like the home building sector in general. Looks good. It looks strong. Pulte Homes here, pretty much a nice little cup with a handle here that broke out, and now we're forming another base here at 24. You'll notice here the base on the daily chart, it's kind of wavy right here. I think a breakout over 24 is buyable, okay, with a stop under the 23 or even 22.50 area, okay. So you might want to give it some room underneath here again to your plan, but it's flagging out here or basing here near the highs. Volume's dropping off nicely. The market again is pulled back, especially the spiders. This one's holding up like a champ. I think the PHM is definitely worth a look to buy. Okay, DHI, another one here, another home builder that I think is very strong. You'll see more of a longer term. Okay, cup retesting these highs is basing out. Volume's dropping off spectacularly as the market tries to sell off a little more. This one holds. So again, if we go down and retest those 225 areas or below on the SPYs, this may not break out. It may hold. And that's good. That's great. If it holds, especially if it holds 33 and the market continues to go down, that just screams to me that you want to take a piece of this action if it breaks over 34. Again, 34 stop, 32 and a half, 32, wherever your stop needs to be based on your plan. DHI and PHM are two of the top housing. Now the other ones are good too, but those are the two that I'm eyeing up. Okay, I think I tweeted about this, but I haven't gone to my Twitter feed today, so I don't remember. I think I did, but it doesn't matter. I'm sharing it with you now. I think this one's definitely worth a watch. This TERP, you'll see on the longer term charts, it's been crushed. I mean, this thing was at $40 stock at one point, and now is at the 12.39. But what I'm seeing here really is some potential energy to do something, break out or down. I think it's going to break higher, especially in light of how it's been behaving over the last few weeks with the market pulling back on the general indices. This one's kind of holding this mid-range. Volumes dropped off, okay, indicating to me that there's just not a lot of selling pressure here. I think a break over the 1260 to 1280 range is definitely worth a look for the buy side with a stop under the lows. And you'd be looking for obviously a short-term move, see how it behaves at the $14 to $15 range where it topped out here earlier. But if it can get above that, really there's a lot of room for this thing to go higher. Okay. Also keep in mind that this could also break down. This is actually, like I said, a longer term downtrend, but it's bottoming out here. A lot of times what these do, they'll fake higher like it did here, and then they'll come back out and take out a pivot. So if it fakes out above, remember, have your stop in wherever you want to put it, below these lows, and if it gets taken out, take it out. And you could even consider going the other way, okay? So right now, though, leaning long, watching this closely for breakout above those areas. Here's another one to consider, CTXS. You'll see the big bar up here, and then it's been pretty much just basing kind of a flag pattern here in this 84 to 82 range. You'll see it here on the weekly chart. It's in an uptrend. It's strong. Again, market is a little bit weaker than this one. It's holding up like a champ. Look, volume has dropped off here, indicative of a base that it could be a continuation base. Okay, so look to buy the highs, stop the low of the base. Again, I can't stress this enough, guys. It's so cheap to trade, right? The commissions are so minuscule. Take your freaking stops, okay? If you get into something, whether it's long or short, have a stop. If you don't have a stop, you shouldn't be trading, and just take it. Spend the $5 to $8 it takes to take the trade, get out, and guess what? If you want to get back in or go the other way, it's another $5 to $8. Don't be a hero. Don't try to say, no, I know I'm going to be right this time. Okay, take your stops. I can't stress that enough. And especially in this sensitive environment where we've been going up forever, I still think we're going to go higher. But again, I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball, unfortunately. Got to have stops. Take those stops. Get out of those trades that don't work. Cull yourselves of the bad ones. Let the big ones run. The ones that are really working go and add to those positions, and anything that kind of breaks and falls apart, just to get out and don't ask any questions. So this is what I'm watching here over the highs, over 84 and change, 84, 85, 84.50. Stop would be around the 82 range. But notice it does get squirrely at times. You might want to give it a little bit more padding, but CTXS is strong and behaving well. Now, typically I don't talk about day trades. But I want to share a few, kind of give you some thought processes for those of you guys that watch these videos and spend the time, invest the time in these free vids I got on my channel. I want to help you guys out. Here's an idea I just want to share with you. Just kind of talk to you through the logic of this. FDX has been a strong stock in general. You see it's up here, but it's suffered 3 pretty awful days. It went from 196 to 183 in 3 days, 3 trading sessions. That's a pretty strong move down. Very bearish. Okay. However, I'm watching this as a long possibility, intraday only. Okay. Let me be clear, not to buy and hold and say, and it very well could go higher. I mean, it's just testing these lows. But there's a couple reasons why I'm watching this. One, actually more than a couple reasons. We topped out here at a new high. We came down viciously. I mean, this is just ugly. Okay. Massive volume. Okay, on this move down. Massive comparatively speaking to here, not really comparatively speaking to this area here, but over these 3 days, big move down. Okay, now keep in mind we moved this far, this fast. Okay, and look to the left, support, 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 and even better, this actually went below that area, right? The absolute low of this bar is 183.87. This is 183.73. It took it out, and look at the volume at the end of the day. Okay. Flush out. This can often indicate a flush out, meaning that people gave up on it. They had their stops here. They could not believe that it went from 196 to 184. So they took their stop and they are out. It clears out a lot of the longs, okay, and it opens up. Okay, a lot of people get short, okay. Short people maybe got, if they got in short here, they're taking profits. If I would be taking some profits at least, and if not all, on a vicious move like this over 3 days. Christmas came early this year, okay, for those. Some people maybe just shorting the low here, okay, putting their stop up at 200, looking for a move lower, thinking, bearishness on these transports, okay. Who knows? But what I do know is that I'm watching this for a long play, especially if we come back from the weekend and the markets are strong and things are perky. I think this could have some serious run in it on the, at least to the high of the previous day, 186. Very, very reasonable, in my opinion, for this thing to get back to 186. You find a nice stop in there, you can make a nice profit on this thing on a day trade. Now, that doesn't mean it can't open at 184 and go down to 170, next week. Who knows? But I'm sharing with you now that I will be watching this as a long intraday opportunity first thing in the morning, okay, when the market opens, and just watching how it behaves, watching somehow the UPS may be behaving, how the market's behaving, what the news was, what's the general sentiment of the market. If the market's weak, these bounce plays typically don't work. But if we get a strong market, I'm watching this as long. So I wanted to share that with you guys and kind of get the kind of thought process of what goes through my head. But again, nothing's an end-all, be-all. Like, I don't want you guys to take watch this video, come Monday, come in and go, hey, that's it, I'm buying this thing. No, don't do that. You can get killed. There's no reason this thing can't put in another day like this one or even this one after this. Okay, that's another thing I see students get involved in where well, it's already done this. There's no way it'll do another one like that. So I'm just going to buy it and hold it. And then it does 3 or 4 more days like this, or 7 or 8. Or I've seen runs of 15, 20 days with bars like this in a row. Completely abnormal, but can totally happen. So be aware of that. Have stops. Have a plan. Okay, now I just want to show you some short ideas I have for next week, just to watch again for the when the market opens. Okay, I want to watch these as shorts. I think Apple here sold off. You can see how extended it is on the weekly. You've got room for it to go if it breaks below this 141 area. I'm watching this as an intraday short. Okay, Home Depot and low. Both of these have had nice moves up. Look at the weekly. It's toppy. You got a lower high. You got a lower high. You've got lots of room for it to fall apart. You got a little bit of a base here, but it's probably been worked off here. I think if the market is weak, HD is a short idea, intraday only. Low. Now again, if you want to climactically hold these for a couple days, you can too. Again, to your plan. Low's also got a gang of room to the downside. New high. I like that. Suck them in. And if the market is weak. Now, if the market is strong, as I mentioned, these ones can typically suck you in and then spit you out as they move back higher. Okay, so again, have a plan. Market sentiment is a big part of whether I go short or long intraday on a particular stock, unless a sector is weak, like the airlines, for example. We're getting their rear ends handed to them a few days in a row last week. Pepsi's another one. Possible failed breakout. You got an extended move up here, not long of a base. On the daily is a decent base. It broke out here on volume. If it starts to fall apart, I think Pepsi might be worth a short. Okay, again, especially if the market is weak. Everyone's favorite retailer, Amazon, breaking down below. Got a nice tradable void to the left here. Can come right back down. Topping action on volume. Kind of a Climo top. I think this will come right down to this 860 mark. Okay, you could even, if you like this stock, sell some puts in the 860 area and look if you can get that thing, if you can pick up that thing in that area. Okay, as a long, just sell the contracts if you want. Again, that's much more risky. Okay, but that's something you may want to consider if you like the Amazon, if you're overall bullish on the market. What was another one here I wanted to share with you guys? Oh yeah, Textron. Okay, another one here. Couple of lower highs, looking like it wants to break lower. Okay, red bar came down here on volume, holding the support area. Possibly could fall. If it falls, it could put in a nice move down. So Textron's another one. Okay. All right, so I want to share with you guys a number of ideas, come up with some thought processes around what I do on the intraday trades, as well as some swing ideas. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you guys have a good Easter weekend, or just weekend, if you do not celebrate Easter, of course. And we'll catch you in the next video sometime in the next month or so. If you have any questions, hit me up, tom@tomwillardtrading.com. Again, trade well, trade to your plan. Have a plan, know where you're going to get in, know where you're going to have your stop, and know where you're going to get out and take some profits and manage your trade as it moves in your direction. Have a great one, guys. We'll talk to you soon.